Well, UFC 294 is done, and I will be honest with you, I'm a little bit disappointed with the card because look, I wasn't watching it live at the time. I was over in Birmingham. Maybe if I watched it live, I'd be a bit more excited about it. Which I was really hyped up for the card, but I don't believe it delivered to the level of the card that it should be. We had the likes of the weird fucking doctor situation, first with Henry and then with Johnny Walker. Like, I don't really know the full conversation of what went on, but it just was a little bit strange. To not DQ Ankalaev then was also a little bit strange. As you can see, Johnny Walker's knee is clearly on the ground. To class that as accidental, I think is strange. The co-main event, I think Kamaru Usman came out of that looking better than Hamzat did. Don't get me wrong, I know there's rumours that Hamzat has broke his hand in that first round.
To a single, Usman defending effectively right now, but Chimaev's got to move it.
Training camp already almost getting
He's got double mount. Now Usman's flattened out.
He's got to watch his neck standing up here.
Yeah, now it's starting to get tougher. Usman's got to fight the hand.
Oh, yeah.
Switches up the arm now. Oh, he gets slammed down by Usman.
Hence why he may have took a bit of a slower approach in the second and third. But even then, Kamaru Usman on 10 days notice, 12 days notice, he performed. He performed like a champ, to be honest with you.
But this is so much better work here from Kamaru. He wants it to be a bit more of a striking battle. Clearly, Chimaev, nice jab again.
And how about Kamaru Usman on 2 weeks' notice, going hard round 3?
We have seen Kamaru Usman.
I think he was slow at the first round, and then second and third, I do believe he did win. I do believe that a draw was the right decision. There, I don't think that it should have been a majority win.
Wisely. Usman loads up on a right hand.
On a swinging.
Oh, big left hand. Usman late.
Really fucking don't. I think the scorecards were all over the place. I do believe that the first round was definite 10-8, and then the next 2 rounds were definite Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman's round, in my opinion, both of them, and I think a draw was a fair result. I think Usman will be a little bit gutted with himself not to have had at least a draw there. And then we go to the main event. So, as we know, Islam Makhachev is incredible. All right, like, don't get me wrong. Before the fight, obviously, we shit on him a little bit. I love Volkanovski. Like, he is the people's champ. He is, like, fucking... He did what many would not have done this weekend. He had nothing to lose, really. A little bit of pride, maybe a little bit of ego. Pound for pound, number 2 spot. But he went out there, and you've got to credit the new number 1 pound for pound, Islam. He is 100% the new pound for pound, because you've got to look at the way he's done this. Like, as I said this on my previous video. If Islam wins, he is higher up the GOAT conversation than Khabib ever will be. Period. There's no arguments about it. There cannot be an argument about it. Khabib's record is a lot more padded than Islam's. Alright? Islam now, if he goes over to Vegas or America, whatever like that, if he goes to America, goes to Vegas and beats Charles Oliveira, defends his belt once again, then what does he do next? Like, the way I think this is going to play out, alright, and I might be fucking wrong here, but I think I might be fucking close to it here. If Conor beats Chandler, and I know what everyone's going to say, oh, you fucking Conor, cock dick riding Conor, me. If Conor beats Chandler in spectacular fashion, Conor McGregor will face against Islam by end of the year. Watch it be in Abu Dhabi next year. This time next year, you watch next October. we will be hitting Islam versus fucking Conor. Watch it happen, or even in fucking Vegas end of the year next year. It is written to happen. It is written to happen. Does he deserve a title shot? Not a fucking chance. Does beating Chandler allow Conor to have a title shot? Shouldn't, but it's Conor McGregor. It's the show. If he rocks a microphone and goes, "Come on, Islam, let's go," it's gonna happen, isn't it? Dana ain't gonna go fucking, "Hey, well, we're gonna turn down this money offer and give it to fucking Gamrot." Ain't gonna happen. Apologies to Gamrot, Gaethje, mate, you're not in that pecking order. If McGregor beats Chandler in spectacular fashion, you will be seeing Conor McGregor face against Islam Makhachev. 100%. One thing you've got to realise about Saturday as well is how well drilled that kick was. They land it 2 or 3 times.
Ooh, head position. Oh! Kick from Makhachev! Huge moment in round 1! That'll do it! And still!
Previously. And it just doesn't quite land perfect. And it just hits just above that glove, bang, and just on the temple. And you can see Volkers just all over the place. And then to follow up, and that knee, that left knee, pins the fucking head, and he just fucking hammer fists. Don't get me wrong, I do believe that there's punches to back of the head could easily be called a disqualification. Could easily, okay? And I've seen Mark Goddard in Cage Warriors do this, where where there's hammer fist to back of the head, and Mark Goddard stops it, takes a point, and all this. So there is the conversation about it, but let's not just beat around the bush here. Islam Makhachev is the new pound for pound #1 in the UFC. In the world. He is the best lightweight in the world right now. There's no doubt about that. But there is a lot of fights to make from this weekend. So you've got the incident with Paulo Costa in the crowd. Paulo Costa now needs to face Khamzat Chimaev again. He has to. That is the only fight to make from this weekend. Has to face him. Johnny Walker has to face Ankalaev again. Because that's the only fight to make. That is the only fight to make. You've got Paulo Costa. You've got 2 choices. You run it back between Khamzat and Usman, 5 rounds, full camp, or you run it between Khamzat and Paulo Costa. I think going down the route, it depends what Khamzat wants to do. Does Khamzat want to go for the 170 title or the 185? If it's the 185, he needs to beat Costa to get that title shot. Because at the moment, Duplessis is the guy. Who is next in line. Why? Because he beat Robert Whittaker in fucking fashion. He beat him in fashion. So it only makes sense to keep that fight as it is, and then have Sean Strickland find Duplessis and have Khamzat versus Paulo Costa on the same undercard and just make that fight. Have Usman, mate, I think stick Usman as the backup fighter for Leon versus Kobe. Have Usman there ready. 100%, because I genuinely believe that he is the guy after them two. Do you know what I mean? Like, can Khamzat be that guy? Yes, 100%. But I don't think he should be at 170. Don't think he needs to be doing 170. Not at all. I think there's fighters out there that are like the likes of Ian Gary and that coming through now. I think they are the next wave of these fighters, and you've got Khamzat. I think Khamzat just goes to 185. The man's a monster. He is a fucking monster. He's a man mountain at that weight. And don't be surprised if you see him go to 205. Like, he is that fucking... But I do think that he has been exposed a little bit in... I don't think he likes the standing around. I don't think he likes the old striking. Like the stand-up striking. I really don't think he looks good in the pocket, especially against Usman. Takedowns, he's brilliant. Like, takedowns were fucking phenomenal. You can say he is a wrestling fucking expert. He is insane. His wrestling's incredible, and Usman did well to defend a few of the takedowns. But like I say, there is a few fights to make from this weekend, and a few fights that need to run it back. We obviously got Mo Makayev, who won on a 3rd round submission. He's got a few months now to get another couple of fights in him. I think he needs to fight again before another year, maybe a top 5 or a title eliminator, to then potentially fight for the title before March, I think it is. What were your opinions from this weekend? Let me know in the comments below. Let's have a conversation about it. And what fights do you think that should happen? Should Strickland be fighting against Duplessis next, or should Costa fight Hamzat? Should Hamzat now get a title shot? What do you think around all that? Who do you like to see next in line for the lightweight title? Do you want to see Islam fight next? I think you've got to go down the route of Charles Oliveira. Possibly make Gaethje versus Gamrot as a title eliminator. There's so many little fights you can make like that. I think the fights that they should make is Gamrot versus Gaethje, title contender. Oliveira versus Islam, and obviously you've got Conor versus Chandler, but we don't really know what weight that'll be at. I think it might be at 170, but if Conor wants to, or Chandler wants to run for the 155 belt, it needs to be at 155. Yeah, let me know what you think, and yeah, on to the next event, which will be the number of events will be John Jones versus Stipe Miocic. Early predictions for that? I'm going both to retire.